as a panelist for this discussion, Ms. Shomi Kaiser, who is the president of E-Commerce Association of Bangladesh. We have got here Mr. Shaheen Khan, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Mina Bazar and Mina Click. And we have got here also Mr. Shahriar Barney, who is the Executive Director of Yellow, and Mr. Rajan Pillai, he is the Chief Executive Officer of Apex Footwear Limited. So welcome all of you to this webinar. And
Thank you.
We thought that with Eid just around the corner, and Eid being the biggest religious festival in Bangladesh, when people actually do a lot of shopping and get themselves new dresses and everything, and have good foods and everything, so many things. But all of us, we know that we are in a different kind of a situation right at the moment, not only in Bangladesh, but all over the world. We are going through a pandemic of a scale that none of us have seen or experienced in our lifetime ever. So this is a whole new experience for all of us. And despite the challenges that it has posed before us, people are managing each day, learning things and how to cope with it and how to live with it. And there is a dilemma also about the choice between the life and livelihood. Actually, whether or not to continue with the lockdown at the same scale is a good thing to do, or to limited easing down of lockdown. This is a kind of decision that governments after governments, we are seeing that actually finding it difficult to take a hard decision on things like this. But every day we are learning from this, and as today we picked as our topics for discussion actually the Eid business in Corona time, in Corona pandemic, that how all of you are very experienced people who have been in the retail business and all sort of business activities for many years, and you are in leading positions from where you have seen the challenges and actually also coping with the situation in whatever possible ways you can manage, keeping the social distancing and all other Corona protocols intact. So if at the very outset, I like to ask this question, actually any one of you can start and then we will go around, is about how actually this year's Eid business is going on in this situation. Mr. Shaheen Khan, would you like to start?
Yes. Well, I'm in grocery retail, so at least I was able to keep my stores open like last 2 months since we started this shutdown. But the Eid is not actually giving us the result we expected. It appears grocery retail is doing better than others, definitely, because we are open. Others couldn't keep their business open. But we have seen at the beginning of Ramadan, we have seen a drop in Ramadan. The whole Ramadan, actually, we did not see picking up, actually. We are behind. And we have only one more day left, and we are almost 7% behind, actually, than last year. So even we are selling like all necessities and food, still we are behind.
Mr. Shahriar?
You know, we are a fashion business, and for us, Ramzan is a huge part of the year. It's our biggest selling season by far. It makes up something like a third of our business for the whole year. the 30 days, and it's been a disaster. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's been horrible for fashion globally. It's been very bad for us. It's been very bad for our competitors. The whole industry is in trouble. I mean, there's multiple reasons. People can't go to the stores. If the stores were closed a long time, they're only open for limited hours. And also, people are feeling a lot of economic uncertainty. They don't want to spend money on clothes. They don't want to spend money. And also, the third reason is, the reason you buy fashion is to go out, see your friends, go to parties, whatever. All that, is in doubt right now. It's not really clear when that will start up again. So, given all that, it's been very bad. And, our industry might change. A lot of people feel that fashion is not going to come back to what it used to be for, maybe for a year or maybe never. It'll be different when it comes back. So we'll have to see. We'll have to be ready for that. We'll have to change. We'll have to be flexible and agile, and sort of rethink all our business practices and see how we do it when this thing, in the next few months.
Okay, thank you. I'll come back again. And at this stage, may I also get the initial response from Mr. Rajan Pillai? You are indeed different. The different kind of business, which is about footwear. So do you think that in this situation, where it fits the footwear in people's priority list?
I think you had a good question where it fits. Frankly, we are also thinking about it. Where does it fit now? Because I think footwear is the last thing in your agenda. I think we started with supermarket. I think that's the most priority, followed with fashion, I think, which is perfect. I think I am the last one. So I think going forward also, footwear is going to take the maximum hit because I think that's not going to be in the agenda of most of the people. And for Ramzan, I think we started on the 10th of May. Let me tell you, we haven't even done 1% of what we did last year. Okay, so it's that bad. I'm talking about 1%, not even 10%.
Yeah, only 1%. Yeah.
Yeah. Secondly, what happened is that the trend, what we saw, it basically, even in that 1%, it was basically kids. The kids' footwear sold a lot. So what happened is that the parents said that, okay, forget about me, at least keep my kids happy. So I think the kids' business went up, not comparing to last year, but I'm looking at overall within our business, the kids' business was the best, actually, frankly speaking. But like I said, these are the times, which nobody knows how it is going to shape up, in coming times. But I think we have to keep our fingers crossed and, relook at our strategy and move forward in life.
Okay, thank you very much. And now it actually reminds us that how, again, the importance of e-commerce actually is so very actually in the limelight now as a mode of operation in the new situation. So where actually I would be very eager to know the experience from Ms. Shomika, sir, if you share your initial response with us on this regard.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Actually, the e-commerce sector was the sector during this COVID-19. It has been declared as the emergency sector, and this sector has come to a lot of policymakers' notice. And people for buying online was very amateur. So during this COVID-19, since the emergency essential products and medicine, people had to buy online and through e-commerce platforms. So there has been a huge shift in terms of people's buying behavior. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Go ahead.
Can you listen to me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yes. So there has been a huge paradigm shift in terms of buying behavior, and people are actually buying products from e-commerce platforms. But let me tell you, actually, like others, the physical business and e-commerce business, the 90% business comes companies actually could not do much business. I mean, if we see the overall e-commerce industry, it's only 8% of the companies who were selling essential products, commodities, and the medicine. So most of the 90% companies could not actually survive. After 10th of May, gradually the restaurants have been opened only for the takeaways, and also the electronic companies also selling products, because electronic goods are also part of the necessary products at this moment, since summer is coming up. And as Shahriar also mentioned, that going to the shop and buying products is part of our entertainment also. That hasn't been practiced, and this has completely stopped. So people are buying, there are two kinds of people who are buying online the fashion products, that they just want to buy it for the kids, as Mr. Pillai said, or the family or the elderly people. So their focus on buying the luxury products or fashion wares not very on the top priority. So at this moment, but then again, e-commerce platforms are doing better compared to the physical shops, of course. And it has come to the focus, and people have started to realize what is the importance of the e-commerce business platforms. And at the same time, the contamination through e-commerce platforms are very controlled. So since that is one of the major priorities, and for the peoples, for the health hazards, so buying online is their preferred option at this moment, and that is why e-commerce companies are coming back. And at the same time, e-commerce sector has enjoyed the focus of a lot of other policy makers, because e-commerce sectors have been directly working with the ICT ministry, the commerce ministry, the post and telecommunication ministries. But other factors, the law enforcement agencies and other policy makers have taken it very seriously.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your initial remarks. And from there, I like to take it to another topics, which would be very pertinent here to discuss, because Shomi was talking about the importance of e-commerce during this situation. And for that to happen, actually, they are required the human resources. I mean, the delivery people. And as the one of the country's largest supermarkets chief, Mr. Shahin Khan, if I come back to you to ask these questions, that through Mina Click, you are also delivering a lot of goods to the people during this period of time. So how do you manage those kind of things? Because as we see that doctors are at the front line, journalists working as in the front line during this pandemic period, and the delivery people are also actually very exposing themselves to the danger of, if I may say so, danger of contamination or this virus things in the outer environment. But they have to do this. But how do you manage all these things?
Yes, actually, Mina Bazaar online there since 2012. Actually, we are the first grocery retail to launch e-commerce site. It used to be minabazar.com.bd, and then in 2017 we launched minaclick.com. Grocery retail was not that strong in Bangladesh. Actually, people were not buying that much grocery online, and then so our capacity was just to serve whatever orders we were getting in February and March. Then all of a sudden, at the beginning of the March, we see the orders numbers were going up, and then all of a sudden the shutdown happened, and then we were flooded with orders, and my website crashed. Our site couldn't handle all these orders, and then we lost half of our manpower. So we could not fulfill demand, and so we had to actually restart everything. And during these 2 months, actually, March, April, and May, we We interviewed almost 750 people and hired over 200 people just to um, increase our capacity, e-commerce delivery capacity, and at the same time, Mina Bazar home delivery capacity. We have
So
seen, yeah,
you went for more hiring.
yes,
Hiring people this for this
we
purpose. Yeah.
in last 2 months we hired more than 200 people actually,
Okay.
and mostly for e-commerce, Mina Click. So we have to increase, and the safety measures you were talking about. Yes, we have to do a lot of safety. We have to take safety measures like uh, the safety gears for the staff who will be on the road, who will be delivering. Like they have mask, gloves, face shield, so they are protected, and the people they are facing, the people they are delivering to, they are also protected, so they're safe. So we are taking all the measures in the store and in e-commerce, and
Right.
there is a significant growth in e-commerce.
If
So
I may just add
yeah,
with Shaheen Bhai, that
And
in terms of the delivery and the logistics, and from the very day beginning of the COVID-19 situation, from the end of February and beginning of March, all the super shops and the e-commerce companies actually coordinate with the coordinated effort. There was a collaboration with the A2I ICT Ministry, how the smooth delivery can take place, how the smooth delivery can take place. And just wanted to give you a picture, and there was a complete holistic and collaboration system in the delivery system overall during this COVID-19 situation. And altogether, almost 78 delivery companies came together and shared their manpower as well. And at the same time, this is also true, there are a lot of volunteer organizations volunteered with the delivery men, because a lot of delivery men left Dhaka, they went back to their homes. So a lot of voluntary NGOs are also supported with the delivery men. So that is a positive thing that I see, that during this COVID-19, including all the online and e-commerce companies, the super shops, all together focused on the forward linkage system, the delivery and the logistics, and there was a complete collaboration. So that was a very positive thing during this time.
right,
yeah,
exactly. Thank you, Shomi, for pointing that out. And Mr. Mr. Shain, you want to add something?
yes.
Okay,
Actually,
okay.
see, due to this COVID situation, a lot of companies like ride-sharing companies, Pathao,
Mm-hmm.
and Uber Eats, they were delivering food, and actually they were just sitting, they had nothing to do, so they came forward, and we have like partnership with Tata, Uber, Shohoj, and a few other logistic companies, so they are also delivering grocery. So
Okay.
these are the like innovations we are seeing, partnerships we are seeing actually to take the industry forward.
May I ask Mr. Shahriar now that how it's happening in the case of your business? I mean, this fashion, clothing, and this business. How you are doing this delivery things when people ordering stuffs from your outlets online?
Yes, we had a similar initial experience with Mr. Shaheen, in the sense that we had a huge demand. We weren't used to it. We've never had it before. It's e-commerce in previous years for us has been a pretty small percentage of a business compared to physical stores. I mean, this year it grew by a lot, like I don't know how many, multiple times, but there's a huge increase, which caused us our trouble in terms of fulfillment. Both in terms of delivery people and also in terms of just ourselves, in terms of our systems, getting things packed and ready for the customer. So we had trouble, and we more or less got over it. I think we're still trying to deliver the last few orders. A couple of things I would just note in terms of delivery. we did have a lot of trouble with some of our delivery companies had to stop delivering because they said it wasn't human feeding was safe for the delivery people. And also, I think a lot can be done in terms of in Bangladesh in terms of things like contactless payments, uh, because right now we don't have that, and handing over cash or even handing over credit card right now is something that's not safe. So there's a way to sort of bypass that, maybe something like Bcash or some other technology that helps people to pay without having to do touch anything would be great. And, that would be really helpful. My hope is that this happened in a few other countries. There's some thing that happens that completely changes people's way of working or way of buying. And once that crisis passes, that behavior stays changed. So I think it might happen in Bangladesh. We'll see that people are used to now buying on e-commerce much more than before during this difficult time. And my expectation is that many of those people, when times become more normal, will stay with this new way, and we'll see a permanent increase in e-commerce in Bangladesh across all steps in the process, starting from how good the mobile apps are or the websites are, to fulfillment systems being much more robust and much more able to handle big spikes, to delivery systems, much better integration with delivery systems in terms of having information go to them and come from them in terms of what was delivered electronically, and in terms of reaching all parts of Bangladesh, all districts and all small towns, which has been a challenge, honestly speaking.
All right. Thank you. And Mr. Rajan, if I may ask you not only about the Apex experience, but in general, the footwear as the product in the market right at the moment, and also the whole maybe the leather industry and other products, how they are coping with the situation of online delivery things, how they're managing these things, or how capable they are actually.
Frankly, for us, e-com was not on the radar till COVID happened. So we all started going back and forth and managed to get the e-com on track, because it was a very small part of our business initially. But I think this was the only time when we took it very seriously. Unfortunately, what happened is that I think the logistic part of the business is pretty much at a very nascent stage. I think we had a lot of hiccups here. The delivery was not happening on time. There was always, they were out of coverage area. A lot of hiccups we had, and we had a lot of backlogs. Of course, percentage-wise, the business was one of the best, but the number games are not so big. But there is a lot of scope for e-com, like I said, people want to now shop. But what happens even today, I think the subcontinent still has a way of they want to touch and feel the product. And when it comes to footwear, is always a challenge, because nobody knows the right size of the footwear, because the size changes for every individual. So it is always going to be, people like to still come to the shop and shop from the shop. Second thing we are actually focusing is on click and pick. You click on my website and you pick it from the store. So that is one way we want to push it as we go forward with, so at least people get time to come and, see what they want and all this thing. Otherwise, in footwear, if you see globally, the returns are much higher than a garment or anything else. So that I think we'll have to, understand how can we break it, because in India subcontinent, what they do is basically they send two pairs, one size bigger and one size, what you have asked for. And, the logistic company brings it back. But in Bangladesh, we wanted to do that. But the logistic company said, no, we don't have any facilities. You have to pay for that. We bring it back. So, it was not working in the last moment. So we thought of keeping it one size. Fortunately, we didn't have much of return on that. We had 8% of the stock coming back, mainly because of the size. Otherwise, I think pretty much it was on track. But logistic got a long way to go, because I think they are, first of all, nobody covers 64 part of Bangladesh. That's the biggest challenge we have. If we want to really look at e-com as the next big business in Bangladesh, I think the back end has to be really, really worked out.
You're right. Thank you very much for your insight on this. And Shawnee,
Mr. Rajan Pillai, sorry.
Okay, I'm coming to you, Ms. Shomi, on another point. That is, suppose people are actually not availing the online, or it has a capacity issue also. Not everybody is ordering things online, and not all of the retailers are being able to provide them at home also. So, still, people are coming to physically to the places for shopping things. So when it happens that people go to the market or go to the places for buying the groceries or clothes or footwear, whatever. So how these during this pandemic situation, the actually the business people or who are providing the service and products are managing this social distancing things. It's quite a bit challenge in a normal kind of a scenario. And we know in Bangladesh during Eid period, I mean, everywhere there's a crowd build up naturally. So even as the we are still not at the end of the lockdown, but formally, but informally, people are on the occasion of this Eid. People are all we are seeing in our television sets how people are going out from Dhaka city to other places, and on the way before they go to their villages, they are buying some things for not only for themselves but also for the near and dear ones with whom they are going to celebrate the Eid. So during this period of time, how actually for the business outlets, shops, is manageable to all these corona safety protocols?
Thank you so much. And I'll start with Mr. Pillai. Pillai, what he has just mentioned in terms of logistics and delivery. I'll add with that. I'll start with that and then maybe come to your next point. What actually Mr. Rajan Pillai said that logistics and delivery has to go a long way in Bangladesh, because in Bangladesh, we haven't been successfully been able to achieve the rural e-commerce. So most of the e-commerce, the industry which has taken place, the growth within the urban periphery, in the urban cities on the peripheral area. So this is why the rural e-commerce, this is one area that at the moment we are focusing. Just to add with Mr. Pillai, I'm just adding with that. This is one biggest challenge area, and this is one big issue that we are and all our logistics companies are thinking big way how to promote the rural e-commerce. And to promote rural e-commerce is another thing. I just want to add what he mentioned about the return policy. We do have the digital commerce policy. Under that we do have a return policy, but it was not successfully implemented. So at the moment the written policy is also taking a focus how to look at it and make it proper, because fortunately or during this during this COVID-19, this was a good fortune for e-commerce industry to actually make the readiness for the post-COVID situation in terms of the logistics, delivery, the written policies. These policies were there, but this was not properly implemented. So this is two areas which has been taking with a high priorities by the Commerce Ministry and the ICT Ministry and the e-commerce industry people. And also what Mr. Sharir said, that there has been also a change in the buying behavior in terms of online payment, any digital payment system. And this is the time actually we want to promote the digital payment system with the credit card, MFS system. So this is the time. So lots of mobile companies and banking sector is also coming up with their innovation systems for the to encourage the digital payment system. And now coming to the question that you have just asked me for the physical stores. Yes, the physical store, I have just said, I'm not an owner of a physical store. Sharia can tell better, Mr. Ranjan Pillai can tell better. But I say going to physical store and buying things from a physical store, it's part of our entertainment. During Eid, of course. But at this moment, this is a new situation for us. Every day is a new situation. It's a challenge. Lot of people have become very cautious, and there are a lot of people, they think they take it little reluctant or maybe they're being suffocated, staying at home. They just want to drive out, go somewhere and go and see things, whether they buy it or not. So in terms of the social distancing, we have to be more careful. I would like to plea our law enforcement agencies to be more serious about it, because social distancing is the first most areas, and this is the priority at this moment, because we don't want to lose any other lives. We've lost a lot of lives. We've lost our journalist friends, the caregivers, doctors, police brothers. We don't want to lose any more lives. And that is why we say that to buy online, and through buying online, there are a lot of challenges. Despite of these challenges, still the contamination will be controlled.
Thank you very much. I'd like to carry forward this discussion to another round with starting with Mr. Shaheen Khan. That I'd like to say that just before the Eid festival, one may think of not buying another shirt for this Eid, or Punjabi, or another pair of shoes. They can do without that. But everybody needs the groceries. Everybody needs the groceries, and they need to eat fish, meat, vegetables every day, Eid or not Eid. So in this context, what I like to actually hear from you about not only about the Mina Bazar experience, but also you have been engaged in this business for a pretty long time, and you know that how over the last 1 decade or so, the supermarket concept of Bazaar actually evolved in this country. So do you think that this crisis will actually push this supermarket concept to another level, where actually it will further spread to the countryside and all other places?
I think it will actually. This COVID-19 actually not only like making people stay home, and it also is actually making people conscious. People are very conscious now, actually, what they're buying, where they're buying it from. So I think supermarket ensures the hygiene, and in all the supermarkets now, actually, we are maintaining social distancing. In our stores, actually, every store, we have the capacity, actually, how many people can enter a store at a time. And then rest of the people, actually, they wait outside. So when two people leave the store after paying, and then we let 2 more people go inside. So this is how we are actually ensuring social distancing. So I think people are comfortable with that, and they feel safe. So I think after this, when this COVID thing is over, I think a lot of people will switch from Kacha Bazaar to supermarket. So at this moment, supermarket is like only big city thing like Dhaka, Chittagong, Sylhet. But I think after this, you will see supermarket in the other districts. So I think people are comfortable with that. And
yes. And I would like to also move on to Mr. Shahriar Varni about the same kind of a question, that is about, I know that of all of your yellow outlets in Bangladesh, all of those are now in operation, all the outlets?
No, not all of them. Some of the ones in the big malls like Jamuna Mall, Bashundhara Mall, those are still closed.
But if someone order online, then the areas where the outlets are actually closed, but still you can provide them with the products there?
Yeah, we can obviously provide them with products if they order online. But the malls are closed. That's not our decision. That's the malls.
Yeah.
Mall
That's not your decision, of course. So that is the market authorities are keeping those closed. So, whatever numbers of outlets are now open for physically people to go and actually buy things from there. So, what sort of a protocol safety protocol you are maintaining at the moment? Because we see that in this kind of shops, people buy things and then also for payment they stand in the queues. So they stand very close by one after another in the queues. So in this particular point of time, are you doing things differently?
Yes, of course. Similar to what Mr. Shaheen said in terms of social distancing, we limit how many people are allowed in the store at any one time. We're doing a lot of things in terms of sanitizing the stores. We clean the stores much more frequently. We clean, the things that people touch. We clean the counters and stuff, the door handles. We sanitize all of that multiple times a day. All the staff have to wear masks. All customers have to wear masks, and if they don't have a mask, we'll give them a mask. All those things we're doing. But one thing that happens in fashion that maybe doesn't happen in grocery stores is that people try on clothes, and then when they take them off, they've touched them. Those clothes might be contaminated. So that's a bit of a question that we have. Other people don't have. Right now, policy is that one thing that's good is that people themselves are not trying clothes on very much. They themselves have changed their behavior. But if they do, then what we do is we don't let people try the same clothes on again until we send them to the factory and sanitize them. And what we're trying to do, the new technology we're bringing in now is that we have UV sanitization boxes in the stores in which we put the clothes in after somebody's tried them, and that gets sanitized for after X number of seconds. So that's something. Things like that are happening. New technologies to make sure everything stays clean. All the merchandise that people have touched is sanitized before anybody else can touch it or wear it. And all surfaces and all things that people touch have to be sanitized many, many times a day. It's all new technology, basically.
Yeah.
We bring.
And Mr. Rajan, you want to add something on this point? Maintaining the corona-related safety issues.
I think the new normal is basically sanitization. I think we can't now get out of it. I think that is going to be part and parcel of our life. So what we did is that, we have 250 stores across the country. As of now, I think we have only managed to open about 160 of them. We had almost a month training with, each and every staff going through this process of, how do you sanitize a store? How do you keep the, basic rules and regulations? So wearing a mask, cleaning the handles, all the basic thing. I think these are now very basic normals, there's nothing new for us now because this is part and parcel thing. What we have done is, like everybody's doing it, we have minimum people who can come in based on the store sizes and all these things. We also started by appointment. I think this is also a new normal going to happen, because if you go to our website, you can, book a timing, you can book the store, and you can come on that timing. So what happens is that you get a very personalized service, because that is also going to be the new normal. How is that I'm going to take my product to the customer is going to keep the customer very comfortable. So that is going to be how we already started some pilot projects. We see some, success in it, but still a long way to go. But one thing we are very, very careful and very strict as an organization is that safety is the first priority, be it our staff, be it our customer. We are not going to compromise on this two aspect of it. I think even in the last 10 days, a lot of government authorities have visited our stores to ensure that, we are following it. And I'm surprised, they were really happy with this, because it is very difficult to know, a store interior of Bangladesh, even my staff is really following, but it was very good to hear that they're following the norms and all. So the basic thing is safety, for the staff and the customer, and the business will follow.
So on the appointment issue, is it something like that, taking an appointment of a doctor to see him in the chamber?
See, what happens is that today's world, you have to keep the customer comfortable as much as possible. Okay. The customer feels that your store is completely sanitized, and it has to be visible. Only talking doesn't help. Okay, there has to be people around the clock working. Somebody's cleaning, somebody is working. That is a continuous process happening. One of the reasons we want to do appointment is that in the critical stores, like the premium stores like Gulshan, for example, these are all uber premium consumers. If I don't tell them, they don't want to be part of the crowd. Okay. And when we started, this is just a pilot project we started. We want to see how the reaction of the customers are.
Okay.
And let me tell you that on an average, every store is to get about 30-35 requests. We only did for 10 stores across Bangladesh, just as a trial. And it was good success. People like to have that. There is a timing difference. If they say they come at 10:15, they might come to 10:30. But I think we are all learning to adjust ourselves in the new normal. So that is where I think the new way of doing business would be.
Okay. So it's like a pilot going on in 10 of your outlets. Okay.
Whoever is going to do things differently going to survive. If you're going to do what you're going to do pre-COVID, you're trying to do what is pre-COVID, you want to start the same thing, you'll die. You have to be completely thinking different.
Right. So coming back to Shami now again on the point of opportunity from the crisis. I mean, these crises actually, do you think that will push forward Bangladesh future e-commerce sector as a whole? I mean, not only in urban areas, in the rural areas as well.
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to just mention that this post-COVID-19, first of all, we do not know when is the post-COVID-19. And there has to be, as Mr. Ranjan Pillai, just let me congratulate him, just saying that they have come up with the piloting by ordering and making an appointment and going to the stores. That's a great thing to do, and that is what actually the e-commerce industry people are actually getting ready with. Number one, with what is going to be the post-COVID situation, we still don't know. But what we need to do at the moment is what we are doing, that making people, our e-commerce industry and the people, the physical business owners, like Beximpo, Apex, and other physical business, they are getting ready for the online shopping. And for that, there are other stakeholders also. Their payment systems is involved. Their payment system, online payment system, and that is the negotiation that we are at the moment doing with the Bangladesh Bank, that to make it relaxed and people should be able to buy online. And at the same time, making the entire e-commerce industry and all the industry ready. It is not the e-commerce industry, it is the any physical store. They're going, if you talk about Walton, if you go to their sales record, if you can see during this post COVID-19 through online, how much they have, the electronic products that they have sold on during online. So post-COVID situation is going to be information technology, and all the e-commerce companies and the physical companies, there will be a huge transformation in the selling and business behavior. There will be a lot of change in terms of, as I have said earlier, there will be a huge change in terms of buying behavior. But in terms of rural e-commerce, as Mr. Shahriar said, we are still struggling. It might take a little more time, but this is the starting point. This is an opportunity again for the e-commerce industry and the people who are getting into digital business system. This is the opportunity everybody has to take. And as Mr. Pillai has just said, that the pre-COVID business strategy and the post-COVID business strategy has to be completely different. And there has to be technology driven. There has to be a technology driven strategy. So this is what we are encouraging our young people or young business entrepreneurs. As you know that in the e-commerce industry, most of our businessmen are small, medium enterprises. In the service industry, we are wanting them to get ready in terms of technology. The more they will get ready, compete with the world, the more they can come up with a technology-driven strategy post-COVID.
Yes, thank you. And Mr. Shaheen Khan,
I just wanted to excuse
Yeah,
myself.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
thank you so much.
yeah. I'm also informing
And I
all of our, my.
personally
Uh,
want to say that I am a big fan of Yellow and the Apex footwear. Everywhere, wherever I go, I promote my own country. I promote my own clothes. So that is this is an opportunity for me to just mention to Mr. Rajan and Mr. Shahriar that I am a big promoter of my own stores. And Shine Bhai, nice seeing you. Thank you so much.
okay,
See you.
Thank you very much.
okay.
Yeah,
So she has to
right.
leave early. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for your
thank you very
contribution.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. See you.
So, Mr. Shaheen Khan, the point I like to raise now is you, all of you are in a kind of a business where actually each day you have a lot of interactions with the consumers. So, in kind situation also, be it online order or people coming to your stores and buying things, so they must have some ideas, suggestions, recommendations as well. So, do you think that you can tell us something which actually you found fascinating from the consumer's perspective? That they come up with some ideas or new thinking, something like that.
Actually, not like consumers, they just want convenience and product in their house delivered in a very safe way. That's what they want, actually. Nothing more. They want to be sure this product is being uh, uh, packed, maintaining all the standards, transported, maintaining all the standards, and the person who is delivering, who is maintaining all the hygiene standards. So that's all they want, actually. But what I have seen a change in consumer behavior, like in Mina Bazar, we have a number for every single store. Designated phone number, and that was not being used by the customers a lot, actually. Like each day, like pre-COVID, each day we used to see like very few orders coming through those numbers. And then when this lockdown happened, actually, and people started calling that number, actually, and uh, now each day, actually, we deliver like more than 500 orders, actually, just people are calling. And so this is something, actually, I found people in this country, even though they cannot go to the store, they like to talk to someone. They like to tell the person what he or she wants, and then say that product is not available. Then they would say, okay, then amake ota then, eta then. So they want substitutes, and then the managers in the store, they can offer the substitutes. So this is something new, actually, we have seen. And you will notice, actually, in our Facebook pages, you'll see we are promoting that store phone numbers heavily, actually. We want people to call, like e-commerce is there, orders are coming through the online portal, but this is totally different. Like people are calling the store directly, and that is going up every day. So this is something new I have seen, actually.
Mr. Shahriar Barney, that you have kind of any new kind of feedback from your consumers?
We had a couple of things that are different this time. I mentioned that we had never e-commerce business was there for a few years, but it never, always a small percentage of our overall business, and in that it was all very highly cash on delivery. And in terms of prepaid or credit card, it was very, very, very small. This year we saw a change. We saw a lot more prepaid orders, and which people had used either Bcash or credit card or some other way to pay for the order. We did see a big difference in the how customers reacted. If it's a postpaid order, they haven't paid for it, then they have a lot of patience, and they don't mind if it comes late or whatever. But if they paid for it on a credit card, then they're very, they can be critical about delivery times very soon. And they're very impatient, they're a bit nervous. They feel that the money's gone already and they want to see results instantly. So we got a lot of feedback constantly from them on prepaid. And as I mentioned, in the early days especially, we weren't used to expecting these high volumes, and so we had some delays in our fulfillment. And so we got a lot of feedback in terms of through different channels, with customers being very unhappy on the prepaid. So that's one lesson learned, is that if your customer is going to be prepaid, you better take care of them very well. If they haven't paid, then they'll be more patient. The other thing, to what Mr. Shaheen mentioned just quickly, is that he mentioned that they have a phone numbers people calling. What we have, also a new system. What happened was that our central e-commerce fulfillment got overwhelmed and could not manage all these orders. So we put in a new system in which you order from Facebook, and when you go to the click link, it connects you to the closest store directly, rather than connecting to your centralized e-commerce. So then the store manager or some person in the store, you ask them, you say, this is what I want, this garment, this size, this color. And then the store itself, let's say it's Dhan Mandi store or Mirpur or Chittagong, I mean, the store itself will manage the order, take the order and deliver it themselves using, local Pataw or some way. And it's a very customized experience for the customer. He's dealing with somebody right in his neighborhood. He's getting very personalized service. Maybe people over there have different tastes or whatever in different neighborhoods or different cities. And also this reduces the load on our central system. And right now, especially during the virus, our stores were not that full and there are a lot of extra capacity. So this distributes the capacity across different stores in a way that's good for both of us. Win-win for our customer who was happy, and win-win for us in terms of how we were able to manage the capacity.
Thank you, Mr. Shahriar, for this contribution from your part. And now moving on to Mr. Rajan Pillai, I like to also note here this point that when we are actually seeing a new, growing customer habit of ordering things online. So do you think this is about time when actually, from the point of view of the service and product providers, the addressing the issues of trust, delivery timing, quality of products, those kind of things, if in those areas, the producers, the business people can give more attention, then it will actually accelerate the rate of people being more feeling easy in doing e-commerce, buying things online.
I think if I look at the context, from what is happening in the other developed places, we all know the future is, online, but how can we create the ecosystem is what is going to make or break. Okay. Currently, just talking in isolation, e-com is not going to work. The total ecosystem need to be created, and at the end of the day, how I'm going to service that is what is going to also, make or break how we're going to run the business. What is the customer today looking at? They're looking at an experience. Okay. It's not product anymore. How are you going to ensure what you're going to show is going to reach me, and how it is going to reach me, we'll understand the depth of the brand. So as an organization, as Apex, we are now really looking at, it's all about data. We have a lot of data with us. How can I use the data? How can I tailor make what the customer wants it? This is how Apex is now working. Completely data centric. Understand, the low fruit, which is the low fruit is basically your loyal customers. We have a database of close to about 1.7 million customers who are on our, portals and who buys from us regularly. So we are going to now understand what are their behavioral skill, how they buy, what they buy, and based on that we start. Second thing, what we are also looking at is basically no more having the same product across 250 stores, because that doesn't work for us anymore. We need to ensure what is the taste of a consumer in that particular area and start making. I know it is slightly tedious, but that's the way forward. Okay. So these are the different directions we are going to take, because for us, it's slightly easier because 80% of the product is manufactured in a factory. So we can do a lot of things which normally some of the other brands might not be able to do that. So we are working at total experience, creating the ecosystem in such a way where the consumer gets what he wants at the price what you're requesting. So this is where we are working towards.
Right. So we are almost nearing to our actually program right at the moment. So before that, just another round. I want to go each one of you to that from. I also want to know your concluding remarks as well as the challenge. What would be the challenge for you are operating at a scale which is a good level, a good scale, and good business reputation, which have been built over a period of time. But across the country, there are a lot of other small businesses, medium businesses who are finding it difficult to cope with the situation. For them, if you have any suggestion, you can make also. I like to start with Mr. Shaheen Khan.
Yes, actually, it is a difficult time, and of course, retail will not be the same. And COVID is going to be with us for a long time. And even we are out of it, still retail will change. So for small businesses, actually, we have to adjust with the time, with the situation. We have to innovate and adapt with the situation. That's all I can say actually. Like for my company, I can tell, yes, brick and mortar is our main business, Minawaza stores. But from now on, actually, e-commerce was there, MinaClick was there, but since the business was not that big, actually, our capacity, we did not build that much capacity. But from now on, actually, Mina Bazaar and MinaClick will have actually same emphasis and same effort. So we are building the capacity, and same goes with the, as I said, the in-store phone call delivery system. We are trying to improve that as well. Actually, we are increasing our manpower to do that because people are more comfortable with that. Because e-commerce, people like grocery shoppers, as I said before, they feel comfortable calling the store. So we want to make that a stronger part of our operation, and that's it actually. And I think all the safety measures we are taking, I think these are going to be with us, and that will take our expenses up. Our business operating expenses will go up, so we have to keep that in mind, and we have to plan accordingly actually. So making profit from the business is going to be difficult, because we will end up spending more to run the business.
Thank you, Mr. Shaheen Khan. And now, Mr. Shahriar Barni, do you want to make some concluding remarks on that the areas of over the areas of discussion that we have covered pretty much in this during over the last 1 hour or so, and from this experience, actually, even during the post-COVID period, which when it comes, we don't, none of us know, but still, when the post-COVID period will come, from the current experiences, how business are going to reshape in a new world order, if we may say so.
Yeah, I would just say that, you said what advice people might have for the small business, but I would say even Yellow is by no means complacent. It's a fashion business, and this virus has been a disaster, and we're not feeling that, oh yeah, we're like, the world doesn't owe us a living, and if we don't change and adapt, then we're going to be out of business too. So I would say that what I would suggest to small business, what we're doing, which is, the world has changed and nobody knows when it'll go back, and it might never go back. So you have to be very, very flexible, agile, ready to change, ready to find new opportunities. I mean, obviously you have to be well capitalized. That's the first thing, because right now, people are, there's no money coming in. Your expenses still what they were, but the future might be different. We have to looking at new things. We're looking at, for instance, selling masks, fashion masks, selling like fashion gowns for people that are antimicrobial, that are protective for people. We're looking much more at things like having shops when you don't see a human being. There's just some electronic way of uh, uh, communicating with people, or there might be trials rooms where you don't put the clothes on. You go see a mirror, and the mirror puts a picture of the garment on you. So it's a matter of being very, very ready for the future. I think a lot of people feel that the world will not go back to what it was, or it might not for many, many years. So you have to be ready for it, and you have to be very, very. You just have to be, as Mr. Shaheen said, you have to be very flexible and very agile, and roll with whatever happens.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Mr. Rajan Pillai, do you think Apex is going to develop a antivirus footwear or something?
I think retail is always a evolving thing. It is never, nobody can say that we are the best. It is always you're learning something every day. And post-COVID has made us learn more things, which was not in our radar. But I think for the first of all, I'll answer your question about the small time retail. I would say for them, just take a step back, look at the picture again and, restart it. It's all about reinventing yourself. Nothing is it at the last stage, So think, it's better to take a step back and see how it looks. You can see a larger picture and then move forward. As far as Apex is concerned, like I said, the future is all about digital. How can we digitize ourselves? The center stage is always going to be sanitization. How are you going to keep the safety environment part of it? Second is cash flow. We are all stuck with cash. There's no cash here. So I think safety, cash flow, somehow managed to, get into this year, at least a balance 7 months, balance yourself, and then, look, restart at 2021. I think that is where I think product innovation, like you just mentioned, a lot of product innovation, as at the same time, product extension, also has to be looked into. Only footwear will not survive, maybe, so what else can I add to the footwear thing? So we are working, the team is working, and they're hardly working day and night from home, from office. Everything is happening. Let's see how it happens. Nobody knows what the future holds for us tomorrow, but our job is to keep trying.
Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you, Mr. Shaheen Khan, Mr. Shahriar Barni, Mr. Rajan Pillai. During this month of Ramadan, you made some time for us to share with us, with the Dhaka Tribune, and also with our viewers that you gave a very important insights. And Ms. Shomika sir was another panelist that we had today with us, and a very special Eid Mubarak.
Same to all of us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you again, guys. Thank you, Rez.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.